making noise?
Oh, that was my ice machine.
Here, wait, while you're doing that, since we're already, let me get the picture up before you do that then.
We're live. Hi, everybody.
Already did. Hi, everybody.
You did. Okay, hi, everybody. God, this is
I did it as soon as you pointed it out.
Okay. Well, you thought you were doing the countdown. Hi, everybody. Sorry. Welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision for the Institute for our review show tonight. If you haven't, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision, and check out our Discord, which I will put the link up for as soon as I get this picture fixed. It's been a long week. I always say that, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my life every week's a long week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So welcome. Nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, nice to see you too. I
joined Jamie's watch party last night and then sat in on her deep dive, but tonight's really a review episode, right? Yes. I do.
You do what?
I don't want to go first.
Let's let AG go first, but I do want to say really quick before we start, and this is my fault. I had a job I get paid for tonight, so I had to do it. I couldn't wait. And we're going to be moving Nautilus to 1 instead of 12 because I need to get done. I have not finished watching it yet, and we had a show at midnight. So tonight, everybody, our Nautilus review and breakdown is going to be at 1 a.m. instead of 12. So really sorry about that, but yeah, that was my announcement. Now, AJ, what
1 a.m. Eastern here on the East Coast.
1 a.m. Eastern tonight. I guess technically tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna let me change it because I got to change it to it so it says Tuesday. It's done.
All right, it's all right. AJ, while Jamie's doing whatever she's doing, distracted. How did you like this episode?
I liked it because it got going and gave some answers. You finally find out what the back. I mean, we've had speculation, but now we know what the back half is doing. What these kids are actually being asked to do. I mean, they're weapons. They've weaponized these kids. They have special abilities, and Luke's had enough, especially now that he knows his parents are dead.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you a question, but you've read the book, so you already knew it was going to happen. But there was a part of me, there was part of me that for a minute thought maybe Sigsbee was lying about that, but no, his parents are
about really, what? Oh, about the parents being dead?
Yeah, that she was like maybe messing with him. You know, on TV shows when they have like a web page, it always looks so like not like bad. It's just a bad rendition of a web page.
I'm surprised you thought that. Because you've been saying the whole time about the wet work.
I have. There was a very small part of me that thought she could have been faking that to try to trick Luke into revealing that he's a TP. And she was so obviously like she's staring at the computer and then she like looks at Luke and she's clearly like projecting in her mind what she's reading on this page, right?
Right.
Like Luke didn't read the computer screen. He read her mind. And supposedly, like, we don't really know, but it seems like maybe they know how to shield themselves or like he's never read her before. Right. And I just felt like she's so obviously trying to like really hard to make him pick up her thoughts so she can out him that there was just like a 4% part of me that was like, oh, could this be a fake website? And did she really kill his parents? But then 96% of me was like, no, she's a horrible person. And like, she killed his parents. I thought his parents were dead for a long time, right? But there's a little part of me that was like, oh, could it be fake?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I do want to ask you guys about that because I know we talked about that last night, but I honestly don't think that scene you're referring to played quite well. And I know you probably heard me say this, Karen, but the way she was, I guess, supposed to be projecting her thoughts of his parents dying, it could have been taken just that he was like annoyed and looking at the monitor because he knew that she was hiding something. It wasn't to me super apparent that he necessarily read it in her mind. I know that's not what they meant.
I agree. I just rewatched the episode right before we came on here, and I agree with you. I watched it, and she was being so squirrely, like computer, and then she'd be like, Like, of course he's going to grab the computer and spin it around and look at it, right? Like, he couldn't, it wasn't really, you're right, it wasn't really that obvious that he outed himself as a TP. That scene was not that well. It's one of a number, I didn't think this was a very good episode. And I have a number of reasons. That bad scene is one of them. But in general, I felt like, okay, did we get answers? I think it was Jen, the teacher, said in the chat last night, like, we were talking about, did we get answers? And Jen said, it confirmed all of our worst fears about what's going on here. Really, as AJ said also, it confirmed what we already suspected. It wasn't really anything new. We just know now that we're right. But I just feel like, I've complained since episode 1 that the characters are so thin, so poorly characterized, and so, like, the adults are all like cartoon bad people and henchmen, and the kids are so thin and not really like well developed. And bottom line, it's not scary. Like, I expect a Stephen King story to be scary, and it's not.
I would think you'd stop expecting that, because Stephen King. I mean, Stephen King's known for horror, but it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be scary either. No,
okay, but like, if you look at Stand By Me, which isn't really a horror story, right?
Right.
But there's this like building feeling of dread as the kids get closer, want to go, right. They're on their way to see this dead body. And there's this feeling of dread as they get closer to it. And as like, interpersonally, like a lot of stuff comes out, and it's really intense feeling. Right. And like, I just feel like this show is not, like, I don't have a feeling of dread. I don't have like, look, it's fine. I enjoy talking about it. It's okay to watch. I just think it's like not that, like, I don't know. Like,
I don't disagree. I know exactly what you're trying to say, and I don't disagree.
Like, when is something going to happen that we're going to be like, whoa, that was a great episode? Like, we like this episode because it confirmed what we already knew. It makes us feel good and smart about our deductive qualities.
I don't think you're going to have a oh my god episode. I mean, it's not that type of story.
I was going to say, it isn't that type of show.
Honestly, I honestly feel like this show would actually play better if you could just watch all 6 episodes, 8 episodes. What do we got here?
8.
Okay, yeah. If you could sit down, or even do 4 and 4, a quick watch, and not have to wait week to week, and not have the chance to dissect it the way we are.
I mean, maybe it should have been a 2-hour, 150-minute movie, like just a film.
Honestly, I could have. I mean, I feel I feel any novel of any given length, it does better as a TV show. But I feel like 4 episodes they could have done it. They've really drawn out some of the stuff.
See, I actually think it would have been better if it was 10 episodes, because then we would have gotten more backstory. I feel like part of the problem is we don't care enough about the people.
You know what, though? There's not a lot of backstory to get unless they make shit up.
I mean, I don't need backstory. I need character development. I mean, look, the adults are all like total, like Sigsbee and Stackhouse and Hendrix are like cartoon level, like mad scientist kind of people, right? And they're not very... Okay, I really shouldn't compare this to other shows, but today I was thinking about Stranger Things, and very similar, kids being kept in, a pseudo medical prison, whatever. I mean, we all know Stranger Things, right? And what's Matthew Modine? Is that the guy who's like the
Matthew Modine
scientist, right? Like, it's very similar, but like, he has 11 calling him Papa. Like, there's this level, like this intense level of like relationship going on there. Whereas Sigsbee and her crew, they're just like so hard. Like, there's not even one moment of questioning that could they really have a good purpose, or they're just so, right? They're just cartoonish. And then the kids are so, look, I do think all these young actors, particularly Finn, what's his last name? Jamie, come on, Finn Laird, and Joe Armstrong, I think is the young man who plays Lucas. I think they're doing good work with they've been given very little to work with. They've been given very little to work with, and they're actually like, doing some good acting with it. And that guy who plays Tony, I mean, I guess he's doing good work because I just want to punch his little smirk on his face every time I see him. So that, right, he's effective, but there's just not like, there's just not a level of development that makes me like all that interested in the Institute. Like the Institute is just such a cartoon. Like I'm just not that interested in what they're really up to, right? They're bad. They will have their downfall by episode 8. Sorry, but I just think that we didn't get enough in this episode to overcome some of my longstanding problems with the show.
You know what? Go ahead, Jamie.
No, I was just going to say, that's why I said, and I know you usually don't want to hear this, but the truth is I do think that sometimes I view it different because I do see it all together. It doesn't, I'm not waiting in between.
But it's not designed to be seen that way.
I know, and you're supposed to wait. But I'm just saying, like, when I saw it the first time, like, I very much, like, I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. Now, if I'd had to wait 8 weeks, would I have felt that way? I don't know. But like watching it in, whatever it was, 2 days, I enjoyed. I'm just trying to explain, like, I can't, I might have felt differently. I don't know. But
and that's the thing. It's not designed that way.
No, it's
but
not.
I think it should. I think it should have been. It's an 800-page novel that's straightforward. There's not a lot of mystery to it. It's a lot of oh shit moments as far as what's going on, but I don't think it translates the same way to TV.
It's 5 episodes in, and Tim like has nothing. Like I guess he's going to run into Lucas at the Red Steps in episode 6 or 7 or 8. Like Tim could not. They could have cut all that out of the show, and like it wouldn't make any difference to me. At this point, 5 episodes in, Tim is like, they could have chopped that and I would be having the same experience, right?
Yeah.
It does seem like 2 stories right now, but I think once they...
And one is extremely boring.
It makes a bit more sense. I don't know.
Bill Chill says, this show is increasing the action and reveals at a slow pace. I'm becoming a little disinterested or uninterested. Yes, thank you. He feels that we should have seen these revealed 2 episodes ago. I agree. Like we already had it figured out 2 episodes ago, and we had to wait this long to see it, right? And
I had it figured out in episode 1.
Well, you had.
And that's what I've said since the beginning, though. It's just a straightforward story, There's not a lot of intrigue and mystery to it.
I mean, it's better than the previous Stephen King Jack Bender collaboration, Under the Dome.
Oh, right? Jack Bender was involved in that too? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he was like the creator, but he was involved in it.
You know what's funny is Under the Dome had potential to be really good.
It started out good.
Especially it's funny because the book, it was just, I really enjoyed the book a lot until the last 200 pages because I figured out what was going on and I wasn't happy. I was just like, I felt like it was lazy.
Oh my God. Only in a Stephen King book you can say I liked it until the last 200 pages.
But to be fair, the guy's written 60 novels, so it's kind of hard to come up with new endings.
Right. Everything's not going to be a home run.
Jack Bender was an executive producer on Under the Dome. I just looked.
Oh, yeah, that show started out pretty good, and then it became terrible.
Part of the problem is it veered way too far from the book. It really.
Well, but it sounds like you didn't love the book, so maybe they thought.
No, I did. I guess I just didn't like the ending, and the reason I say about the last 200 pages because I was pretty sure where it was going to go, and the more I read, the more I thought I was right, and then I was right.
So there was no mystery or excitement left for you at the end of the book. Other readers might have had.
With how things were, certain storylines were wrapping up and everything were still interesting, but the end result, the answer to everything was a letdown.
Yeah,
because it just felt very unimaginative.
Mm-hmm.
I get what he was trying to do with it, and I can appreciate that. But it was just like, like I don't know. Did Under the Dome get far enough that you guys found out what the answer was, or did they get canceled before that?
I can't even
I
remember
don't
how it
remember.
ended.
No, I
It
don't
just
remember either.
became so bad that I was like, leave these people under the dome and
I
save
mean,
them.
you know what? If people were going to read it, they would have by now. So the dome was just a basically a really big wine glass that aliens put over that section of the planet.
So it's basically like Teacup basically ripped that off, right?
Why is that what Teacup did too?
Well, kind of.
Kind
The
of, yeah.
aliens
Yeah.
kind of
I mean,
Then yeah,
there's only been
Then
one
yes.
season.
Yeah, it was aliens, and they finally and they were children. They weren't even like, it wasn't even like malicious. It was basically like,
they stuck
you
them
know,
in a jar and
it was
wanted
basically like, you know, like a 6-year-old playing with ants.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like I said, I get where he was trying to go with it, but I was like, really, aliens again?
Yeah, it was aliens and Under the Dome, but it was aliens, and I think they managed to like escape at the end.
Yeah. Some of not everybody did. Because everybody
Yeah.
started to suffocate because there was no air that whole time.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah. Plus,
Anyway,
yeah, back to this one. Sorry.
Bill kind of liked it until it went flat. It did have some potential. Alien Child's Play. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Samuel says this show is barely graduating high school. I mean, it is. This show is not.
Oh, and you know, it's funny. You got this scene up here showing this scene. I wanted to smack Luke in this scene towards the end of the episode.
This is the first at the beginning.
I know, but it just made me think of the end of the episode when he like
he's
just because all those kids, he sees one that he knows, so he goes over and he's like, I'm going to get you out of here. First of all, what about the other kids? If you're going to do that. Second of all, do you realize that you're not helping her by taking the oxygen mask off her face? Like, clearly she is fucked up. All right.
If he could, he's in a coma. You can't carry her out.
And then, but then he's like, and then he realizes he can't do anything. And he's like, sorry, and he just walks away. He doesn't like put anything back on her. No. What if she dies now because he didn't like put shit back?
Well, he looks around. We can talk about it a little later. This is the opening scene of it, right? This is like the at first I thought it was a Maureen flashback, but it's not. It's the previous night's the result of the previous night's training session or whatever, right? At first I thought she was having a flashback. This is pretty horrifying.
It is. It is. Yeah.
When I say this is not horror, I am horrified by much of what I see, right? But because we're seeing the torture of children, and that is like, that's the only thing here that is really scary or bad, right? Like, that's a weakness of the show, I think. Like, but anyway, not that they're showing it, that's all there is really. But anyway, this was really terrible. What we see in this scene, it was really disgusting, right?
Yeah, she's like, take out the trash, and then you realize like it means the kids, and it's like, how can you? Yeah, they become too desensitized to it. That's for sure. At least Maureen like is affected by it. She's like the only one that still is. You know,
I think
that's the problem.
So maybe a Tony like character, a character like Tony, who like doesn't see these kids as human, as people, and it allows him to be really sadistic. But on the other hand, a person like this is an unnamed character. This woman who's working back there with Maureen, right? I forget her name.
I don't know.
I feel like it's a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit different, almost like she's clearly affected. She calls this child the trash, but she's really clearly very affected. And I felt like maybe she's not seeing them as human, as like a means to protect herself from what she's doing and what she's become. Maybe like I saw her as like a very different than the way Tony sees them as not people. I don't know. I might be trying to read into some meaning to the show that doesn't have any and bothers me. So that's
a good way to look at it. I mean, that's a logical answer, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's fair. We do see them looking at this. I don't have a picture. I thought I had a picture of of Tim, I don't. But
Can you go back?
Yeah, since he sees the smokestacks, Tim does as well. We know he's close by.
So if you look at that, if you look at the previous scene, previous picture, I was looking at this crematorium. If you go back to your previous picture where the oven is, like I really spent a lot of time looking at this because it looks like it's purpose built as a, like, it's not like, did they take over an old factory? Because it has 2 enormous smokestacks. Like I'm not a undertaker, but I'm pretty sure one body of one kid doesn't make that much smoke as we see in the next picture, right? And I was like, oh, is this an old factory or did they, but this doesn't look like a furnace. It looks like I can't get my head around like what they built, why, and for how many people. But if you click it again, I'm like, wait, they just put this one like 6-year-old girl in there and look how much smoke is coming out of these 2 smokestacks.
Well, if it was only a little bit of smoke, you wouldn't be able to see it.
I know, but it's like like 100 people are being burned up in there right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much smoke about, like, I know on Revival when they burn the body, it doesn't make this much smoke, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my head around like the size of this complex that they're in, where they appear to be keeping a dozen kids, 15 kids, right? And burning one a day.
Well, the thing that I'm now realizing too, though, is that I thought that they were in the same building, and they're clearly not if they're looking at it from there.
I think
the other building. I didn't even realize. I mean, like I knew it because I saw this, but it didn't occur to me until now that they're not even in the same building. And somehow, how does he end up? Because he ends up past where the furnace is, right? So how does he end up in the other building just from her wheeling him through the?
Well, there are underground tunnels, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think they're underground hallways, but I'm starting to feel like Sigsbee and her people and whoever upstairs is, I got some theories going. And one of them is that they just took this place over. This was some previous government facility that was used for something else. And they're like squatting there or took it over somehow. But I just can't imagine like a place this size was built for this purpose. There's just not enough psychics in the country for this, right?
Yeah.
So Bill thinks it's probably the size of a private school campus. Yeah. Which some can be really huge, some can be a little smaller, but like it doesn't feel like they built all this to cremate like one kid every now and then to hide their tracks.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot more than they need.
Stephen King and Jack Bender don't like children. Tortured kids in this, cremated kids in the Institute, and kids massacred in opening scene in Flashback of From. And don't forget Carl getting shot in the head in Lost. Yeah, remember? Carl, right? No, Alex. Carl gets tortured, much like Luke did in Shots for Dots.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Alex gets shot in the head. Yeah.
They like to torture their kids, I guess, in their shows.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just, because this show is not grabbing my attention enough story-wise, I'm looking at all the scenes and being like, that crematorium is stupid. That fence is stupid. So just feel free to smack me down when I start to rant.
Karen's just complaining. It's okay.
Yeah.
So this is like we were talking about where she calls him in to see if he is I'm assuming supposed to be to see if he can read her mind about them killing his parents. But like I said earlier, I don't think it played off quite the way they meant. And now I know you were here, so you probably heard our whole conversation, Karen, but this to me still doesn't make tons of sense because it says murder-suicide. So it's implying that the father did it, but yet, I don't know. To me, the article also implies when they say he's a person of interest, it's implying that they think he might have done it. So I don't know. I think the article's written weird. And I know they don't expect, well, they should expect, but I guess they don't expect people to read the whole thing and question it. But it's
think that's not what a person of interest means in law enforcement, but it is maybe what the public thinks it means. A person of interest is just a person who has knowledge, maybe about a crime, or maybe has evidence. A person of interest doesn't mean you're a suspect. It means they want to talk to you. And they are implying that the father killed the mother and then himself, right? And then Luke has run off and they want to. So, yeah, I mean, so I'm not saying that you're wrong. I mean, a lot of times a person of interest is a suspect, but often they are not. Right?
I don't know. It's just the way they presented it, I guess. I
Well,
told
I
her
mean,
they want you to think they're blaming him, but
They
maybe
present-
I'm just taking it that way. Luke, that they're going to make it like he
yes,
did it.
but they present it in such a way that only the most intense nerds like us are going to blow this up and read it. And like most of the viewers are like going to read that headline and then move on. Right?
I would love if they wrote some total bullshit that like was a joke to see who actually read it when they do a show like this. They never do. They always try to make it look. They try to make it look good enough, you know, like either make it perfect or like do something really weird and see what people say.
Just put the headline and then like the squiggly little lines for words.
That works too. Yeah, well, I guess probably when they used to do it, people didn't have like high def televisions that they could, you know, really, really look.
Damn,
at
you lost.
Yeah. But yeah, he grabs her and throws her on the desk because he knows that they killed her, which I don't blame him, to be fair. And then yeah,
like, what did she expect? Why didn't she have security with her? Like this woman, God knows how long she's been torturing teenagers for, and she just fundamentally does not understand kids at all, right?
Well, I think part of it is
parents.
Other than Nikki, I don't think they've really had that many that have fought back.
I find that hard to believe. Teenagers are the most disagreeable of all children, right? And they seem to mostly be teens, not like Avery's pretty young. And the way she talks to them is ridiculous. The way she's
poking them, like she.
You know what the funny thing is?
But she should.
She talks to them like they're two, like they're not gonna, you know. And like I don't even know what they put on the show of yay, everybody's going to the back half, happy birthday, you know, to them, yay. It's like yeah, exactly. Like it's bullshit. Everybody knows it's bullshit. Like, why are you continuing to put on this show? And speaking of Nikki, by the way, I love it. I love when he starts the fight just so they could break the thing for the door.
Speaking of, because I forgot to announce that at the beginning, I know I had said it last night, but I did talk to Finn, who plays Nikki, earlier today. So that interview will be going up in a few days. And we're also going to be talking to Simone, who plays Kalisha. As I said before, so you guys can send in your questions for that as well. But I also found out today we're going to be on the show. So this one will be live. We're going to be having Jason Diaz, who plays Tony. So yeah, we can tell him how much we want to punch his character.
Yeah.
It means he's doing a good job.
Yeah, it does mean he's doing a good job. I think he's doing that. Yeah. Yeah, he's the character that you're meant to really hate. But yeah, he's going to later in the week. We're figuring out the time, but he's going to be on the show. So yeah, creepy Tony, exactly. So yeah, everybody stay tuned for that. Now let's
cool.
See.
That's great news. Good work.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, it's gonna be fun. But the interview this morning I think went really well too. I'm excited to edit it and get it up. It was I think 25 minutes. So it's a pretty long interview. Good. All right. So we have Stackhouse, who comes in and is like, we don't have time for this shit because she was busy gonna attack him.
Oh, but this was a horrible scene, right? Like,
it was. Because she told him, she's like, I killed your parents. Now I'm going to shock you. That's
like Lucas is already pinned to the ground and no longer a threat, and she's going to tase him.
Yeah, she just wants to.
Like she had this like kind of Tony-like sadistic moment that I kind of hadn't seen from her before.
Yeah, she seemed to enjoy telling him, I think. She enjoyed him getting upset. And that's why you were saying like she should know that. I think she did know it. But we also know she seems to like pain too. So I don't know. Maybe she didn't care.
I think Luke's been pretty subdued. I mean, he's been a little mouthy. But he hasn't been aggressive at all.
Right.
So I think she might have.
I think she enjoys pushing him there.
Yeah, but I don't think she was expecting him to react like that.
Physically like that.
Violent.
She thought he'd just collapse in a puddle of tears or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie, in terms of pain, like I'm not like okay, a person who like inflicts pain upon herself, look, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think that's very different from a person who enjoys inflicting pain on others, like Tony does.
No,
and
no,
it,
no. I
it
meant
really
maybe
surprised
she
me
didn't care
to
if
what?
he hit her. That wasn't what I meant. When I said that, I meant maybe she didn't care if he hit her because I said,
when he hit her.
No, I didn't mean, I was saying two separate things.
Okay,
which is not the same thing either. Inflicting pain on yourself is not the same thing as somebody else inflicting pain either. I was just saying, like, she probably wasn't super worried about it. And also, he's a kid, but still, he's pretty tall. He could inflict some pretty bad pain if he tried to, I think. But yeah, she should have known.
Yeah, he's also telekinetic and telepathic. Like, she's not at all threatened by any of those powers.
No, she's not. But she's been around all these kids, and they've never done anything that could hurt them.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. But we know.
True,
but they seem to not usually, right?
Well, they've said individually they're not that strong, but I don't know. You would wonder that, like, at some point when they know they can all do stuff together, that they would, like, turn on them, which was probably what we're going to see, granted. But, like, I want to see that. All right. So then we have Tim, who is digging pretty obviously, trying to pretend and be like, oh, I just happened to find the place. And obviously we knew that wasn't going to go well. And they don't like that they've seen him, and they're going to try to get rid of him. Now, I know the one thing I had asked is, I was a little confused, as I said this last night, when he first started saying he could be anybody, he could be a reporter, he could be this or that. I thought he was saying, like, we could recruit him, that we could use him. And I didn't realize till she started saying, oh, he could be from upstairs, that was what he meant.
No, it was
I don't know. It was weird to me.
AJ, I don't know if you remember the same way I did, but I think it's because Sigsbee was like, just kill him. And Sax was like, no, he could be a reporter. He could be FBI. He could be anyone. Like, we can't just kill people when we don't know what we're doing. Like, that was also a little surprising to me in this episode, that this is the episode where Sigsbee all of a sudden just wants to kill everybody all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You think that they've had the Institute, it seems like, run a really long time, and everything's gone to their plan, that they would have better control when things go wrong. But maybe things don't go wrong every very often. But yeah, she's a little quick to
maybe don't build your secret evil government HQ right next to a town in primo hiking territory. Like, people must come up that road all the time, right? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's right in town and everybody knows about it. It's not like going out to, like,
in the middle of nowhere.
It's not like going to, like, I don't know, like Area 50. Well, Area 51 is pretty close to Roswell, right? But I don't know. Like, there are places that government puts places in the middle of nowhere for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they should have done better.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, was that surprising to you? I mean, AJ, again, you've read the book, but she didn't seem like she was so interested. And then there's, like, multiple times in this episode, at least 2 or 3 times, where she's like, oh, just kill that person.
Yeah, I mean, this is all new because Tim isn't even in the town in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not even there.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody walking up to the gate going, hey, what's going on in here? Like, this is all new that they've done.
Yeah.
I feel, though, like, if he wasn't even in the town, we'd be complaining even more about the stories being too separate. Like, a book, you have more time to develop that. So, like, I kind of get why they brought him into the the same.
Look how long Ben Barnes' finger.
I was just gonna say that. Maybe it's the angle, like the wide.
I think it's the angle.
It is, but he looks like ET with his, like, long finger there.
I know. I was noticing it too, and thinking the same thing. That is a weird ass finger. Whoa! What was that?
Well, my computer almost fell over.
That's not good. So yeah, he is. You're right. They're like, kill him, and he's just trying to investigate. And I mean, they are pretty obvious, but he's also being pretty obvious. I mean, to be fair, he's not really. He's acting like, oh, I'm just hiking, but I think it's kind of, anybody would know that he was.
It wasn't very convincing.
No, he was clearly snooping. So then we have Luke and being upset and them trying to keep him in better spirits because if he quits, they don't have anybody to fight. They need to, they're finally at the point they're going to try to do something and they need him. And they talk about, the camera and what they can do. And that, like Nikki says that, so when he asks about the point of fighting, he does say that sometimes you need to show you can still fight. So yeah, this whole scene is kind of like about you can't just give up and that they need to keep going because otherwise they are going to die for sure.
Yeah. I mean, last night someone did point out, like, I'm sorry, I got to point out a weakness in the writing here, which, okay, so it's terrible that Luke's parents have been killed, and we don't have time to show a big long scene where he's devastated and cries a lot, but he's very, of course he's really in shock and upset. But the part where he says, I don't have any, what's the point of escaping? I don't have anywhere else to go. And last night in the chat, maybe it was Scarlett or Jen said, well, doesn't he have aunts and uncles and grandparents and people? And isn't it super convenient that he, not only are you a genius and a psychic TKTP, but you very conveniently have nobody who will miss you once we kill your parents, right?
I feel like maybe they should have tweaked that line because all they really had to do was say something like, I don't have a home to go back to. My parents are dead. They didn't have to say, I don't have anywhere to go. You know what I mean? It's right. And I think they just should have had a different line.
And then Nikki's like, well, I never had anywhere to go, right? Because Nikki's been raised in foster care, I think, and apparently not. I mean, many people have wonderful, loving foster parents, but apparently Nikki did not.
He said, he's been in the system.
Yeah.
Not had a great time.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to fight to show you can fight. You can't give up, and they need him too. It's not just they all need to work together. Can't let it get to him. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think maybe though after what happened, you'd be more mad and want to fight more. But I guess it depends on the person. You'd also be in shock and devastated, and it's kind of.
What do you think is up with George? Why does George never get promoted to back half? He's been there he's been there a long time, right? He was there when Luke got there. Kalisha's gone. Nikki's going. Iris went. And George just keeps not going to back half.
And I don't know. George doesn't really do much or say much either, to be honest.
Well, even Sigsbee says, she's going to send Luke, and she says to Sackhouse or to Hendrix, she says, back half needs bodies. I'm sending him down. Why not George?
Yeah.
George is a pretty non-character. I don't know if George is going to save the day in the end or if George is this extra kid to be hanging around in the dorm. But he's a very backgroundy kind of character.
Yeah, he hasn't. It's funny. Actually, I forget about George most of the time.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. They need to give him more to do. I do think. I mean, at least he helped Avery with the distraction in this one. So I guess he had a purpose here. But yeah, he hasn't really. I don't know that Avery couldn't have done it by himself, probably, if he had to.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what you're talking about, treating him like a kid, where she's like, we're having a party again. Nikki is going to back half. So
actually,
they're definitely running out of time.
I kind of read this. Sigsbee says, please join us in the cafeteria for Nikki's graduation ceremony. Yay! And the way she says it, I kind of read it
yeah,
I'm so annoyed.
I read it she's just so checked out. She's been doing this for God knows how many years and how many times, and it's all a ruse, and everybody knows it is. And she's just totally yay! Why? I agree with you both. Why are they going through this charade?
Yeah, she's so over it.
They can get to keep holding on, I guess.
Yeah.
Keep saying, "Oh yeah, we'll be fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they think maybe some kids they can convince, and it's what they want to believe. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
so yeah, she has his carrot cake for him, and there's the party.
Woohoo!
Yeah, woo!
Mm-hmm.
I lost where it was,
but Nikki's got this all planned out.
What's funny is I really thought when he went to blow out the candles, I thought he was gonna flip the cake or something.
So did I. He had his hands right on either side of the cake, and I thought he was gonna.
Yeah, he did that part nice and calm first. Maybe he didn't want to destroy the cake. They want to eat the cake. Let them eat the cake first, right? Then do it. So yeah. I like how they did it though. I mean, they needed to knock out that lock, and I think that the way they did it worked, and it was cool. And I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Well, I don't think anybody knew about it except Nikki. Lucas definitely wasn't in on it. Avery wasn't in on it. Like Nikki planned it out himself.
Well, think about it. With what's going on here, Nikki had to play that one really close to the vest so that nobody found out.
Yeah, because Avery would have shot his mouth off, which he kind of did. He's like, he isn't even that mad, so he was questioning why he did it. But
yeah, Avery does not know when to talk on the down low.
Yeah, so they can't let anybody see. But yeah, I think that it was like, I don't know how they had intended to do it otherwise. Like they talked about, screwing up the cameras, but they had to get in there. So that was pretty smart that he I'm gonna sneeze. That he knocked out the camera or the lock that way. It's too bad lock to get out, but
it was great, but like it bothers me that this turn of the plot requires the utter incompetence of the adults of the institute, that like nobody notices that like the sensor is out on the door. It's literally crooked. Tony knows he hit it with his taser, and like, I mean, I think he knows.
Tony has no idea. Tony is not that observant.
Nobody notices it. Like, first of all, shouldn't their system bloop and tell them when a lock is down and not working? But like, it relies on we've commented several times that these people are so incompetent. How is it possible that no kid has ever escaped before?
Well, they fight amongst themselves.
They do.
So I mean, that makes everything very disoriented.
Yeah,
to begin with.
They're just bumbling. These people. I just can't believe that it took somebody this long to outsmart them.
I thought.
Well, if somebody did it sooner, there wouldn't be a story.
I know, but that's not. It's a very convenient thing in the writing that the adults just don't notice. The adults that like have been doing this forever, and they can't tolerate a hiker coming within 20 feet of their front gate, but then they don't bother to check that the locks are working inside, right? Like it's just sloppy. But yes, we wouldn't have a show if they didn't manage to escape. So yes, I get it. It's just like super convenient.
I kind of thought maybe Maureen's figured it out though, because she seemed to be and I thought I had a picture of her, but I don't. The way she looked, like I think she knew something was up. I don't know that it's necessarily she knew what, but I feel like she knew something was going on.
I agree with that.
I mean, she knows they're trying to get out. Like Lucas has spoken to her before. She knows these kids are trying to escape.
No, I know, but I mean, I think she knew when he did that he did something, because she just, and I thought I had a picture of her, but I don't. The look she gave, it just seemed to me like she recognized. There it is. She looks like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, maybe we don't know. But yeah, Nikki got to really got to do a lot. Throw the chair, throw the punch. It was a good scene, anyway, and it was nice to see some craziness happen. And it served its purpose. He, I mean, he's probably getting beat up because of it. We don't get to see that part, but yeah, it worked. Sorry, reading what's going on. So yeah, that's where Avery's like, he wasn't that mad. How why wasn't he that mad? Because he didn't get it. We kind of commented on that already. And there's the alarm.
Well, and the thing is, until Avery says that, nobody realizes, the kids don't even realize what he was actually up to until Lucas looks at it and he's like, oh.
Yeah, true.
A lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can only see like 14. I can't. You can't really tell for sure. Sorry, Jen. There's a close up of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see like 12 or 13. Why?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's supposed to be how many days they're there, but we don't know.
Is it supposed to be that, or we're just surmising?
Well, that's what they've said. She said
they did. They did say actually.
That?
said it was how many
Because
days.
I remember Iris made a comment about how that wasn't her age, and I'm pretty sure that's when Sigsbee is like, no, that's how long you've been here in front half.
Yeah.
So George is going to need like a whole sheet cake to hold all his candles.
He's gonna need 2 cakes.
He could have came in the day before, the other ones. We don't know.
That's true.
Iris had 13. So yeah, he's got, we don't know. But they're going to run out of people really quickly if all they got left is George and Avery, because Avery clearly is strong. So I'm assuming pretty soon he's going to go the back half. George, we don't know. George will just be left there. The cheese stands alone, right? He'll be the only one left.
Yeah, I wonder if you never exhibit the other side. He's a TK. If you never exhibit TP, will they just be like, we're tired of waiting and just kill him? Like, I don't know.
Maybe. Well, that's the thing too that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is they said as soon as you see something like as soon as you see the dots that you're already starting to exhibit the other powers, because they said that to Luke. And come to think of it, he said the other day he had been in the dream box. So shouldn't he have been transferred by now?
Maybe he's a plant. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a little bit weak there. But they take Nikki away, and then let's see. Then this is where he talks to Maureen for the first time, first time in this episode. I mean, when he goes back there and talks to her. So he tells her they murdered his parents, and she didn't know it clearly. And she says, if I were your son, would you leave me here to die? Now, I feel like there's a lot more to this story, and we've said this before, that we're not getting. And I can't remember, AJ, is there more to the story with her son in the book? Or I know you said something about her husband, but I don't remember if you ever said about.
Have they not said more about her son?
It sounds like he's dead to me, but that's
Kaiju dropped some of it in the chat last night. About what's going on in the book with that she.
Oh, that was him. I thought that was AJ. Yeah, that was Doc.
So they haven't.
No.
And that's part of it. I've read the book, so I just assume. I feel like since he's been mentioning her son, that they've said what the deal with her son was.
No, but
I assume he was dead, but that's all.
He's dead.
In the book, he's not dead, right? So according to, I think it was Doc in the chat, she has a son she has a deadbeat husband or ex-husband who ran up her credit cards, and she's in major debt and like needs money to pay for them. And she had this son that her husband forced her to give up to adoption, but that she maybe connected with him. I'm not sure. And she's saving money to send him to college. Right? Wasn't all that in the chat last night, Jamie?
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't remember exactly what he said, but that sounds about right.
Is AJ frozen, or is he so astonished that
AJ's looking? I think
I'm trying to remember. All I know is they blackmailed. All I know is they blackmail her about her son. Not really blackmail her, but use that against her, and I know what happens. I guess I don't remember the logistics.
I mean, Maureen says to Lucas in this scene, or in the later scene, she says, "They'll kill me." She's on a fear level of Sigsbee having her killed, which we see now that Sigsbee wants to kill everybody. So it's a real fear.
Now, I don't think this is a job you take and then decide you don't want to do it anymore. I think you're kind of screwed once you do it. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they're trying to make us believe it's important, and then they're not explaining it. It's another one of those things that they've had a lot of in here, where they bring up things and they just kind of trail them off. And
that's kind of, I mean, I guess the specifics of her son isn't the point. The fact of the matter is they're using, they can tell she actually gives a shit about them, and they're using, what if I was your son? What if your son was in here? Would you do something then? It's pretty basic.
Yeah. I mean,
was it? Okay, that is funny. I'm sorry, I just saw that, Kimberly. Yeah, that was me. I said that looked like, I called him the other name. I said I couldn't remember which one it was. But yeah, I thought that the guy at the crematorium looked kind of like John Griffin. And I wonder if, just to be funny, they, maybe Jack Bender stuck him in there. But if he's listed as being in the episode, then that probably was him. That is too funny. A little cameo there, yeah. We'll have to, if we, hopefully at some point we'll have him on again, and we'll have to ask him about it. Let me see what it says.
So I don't really know who that is.
Well, no, I recognized him from us talking to him on the show. That's why the only reason I said that. But
No.
To me, it looked like it just says Denny.
All right.
On our movie database, so that's not really helpful. But
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is this episode. So yeah, that probably was him then. Cool. I don't remember names. I tend to remember their faces, but I don't always remember the name. All right, that was
right. So anyway,
yeah, one of the ones that was helping Maureen or whatever. All right, so yeah, you're right. It is kind of like, would you let your son Jake die? And she gets upset and leaves, and Sigsbee's watching this go down. Yeah, so she is obviously keyed into her being affected, and that kind of starts the.
I mean, she is, but it's like this scene underscored to me how not careful Maureen and Lucas are. Like. Not only does Sigsbee she sees Maureen come out, and then she sees Lucas come out from behind the corner 1 second later. But also, did you notice how when Lucas says what if it was your son? Would you do anything then? And Maureen is stunned and horrified. She drops the mop, and then she takes her mop cart away and leaves the mop laying there. And you see Sigsbee looking at it and seeing. I'm like, what about the mop? Right? They are not covering their tracks very well. They know there's a camera everywhere.
Well, she knows they can't hear her, but yeah, clearly they know something's wrong by the way she acted. I agree. Yeah. I think it was sloppy, but
also I'm starting to wonder what Sigsbee's job is, because she spends an awful lot of time watching these cameras, right? Spying on her creepy coworker, spying on the kids. She but anyway, I digress. You're right. This is where she keys into the fact that Maureen is maybe just a little too friendly with Lucas.
Yeah. And then we switch to Tim and Wendy and their conversation. And I know when I said this, I'm like, Karen's going to be pissed about that. Everybody, Bill. Yeah, maybe.
She's in love with Luke. He smashed her face into the jar candy. Yeah, this was inappropriate. I was complaining last night. Are they trying to push a Tim and Wendy romance? And why do they have to do that? Because why can't two characters just work together? Why does there was the near kiss last week that already irritated me, right? I'm the anti-shipper. And then this, and isn't she his boss kind
of? No. She's his coworker. I don't think
she's his boss. She's not his boss.
Okay,
the sheriff is his boss.
Okay, the sheriff is all of their boss, but she's a coworker and she's superior to him. He's the lowest guy in the office. It's just not appropriate. And what's not appropriate?
He's not a cop. He's not even a cop, though. He's a night watch.
Yeah, whatever. They work in the office together. It's not appropriate. And it's also not appropriate for shows to make every single male and female character have to have this happen, right? Can they just?
It's because it was in the book.
Wasn't I like Jen. I can't why ruin these mystery shows with a love story.
Thank you, Jen, the teacher. Thank you. Yes.
She agrees with you.
I hate that. But it's in the book, AJ. They have a
Yes. It's so done. Listen, it's you know what that yeah. I'm telling you this I honestly this show is not it's not translating well to TV. I don't think it needed to be translated to TV. It's a straightforward story. And there's more nuance and stuff and everything with everything in the book than what they're portraying on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I more think it doesn't bother me, but it doesn't need to be there. And I don't think we have time to develop anything in 8 episodes. So why bother?
I agree with that. And you know what? And I agree with you most of the time, Karen. There's a lot of shows where it's why does everybody have to get together? I'm still pissed off about Warehouse 13.
Mm-hmm.
They were friends. They were friends for 5 seasons? They were friends for 95% of the show, and then the last 4 or 5 episodes, we love each other. No, you don't.
Yeah, that was
terrible. This bothered me. And you're right. Bottom line, there's no time for this. Why are they putting here? There's no time for us to be are they trying to make us be invested in this, and they're going to have to fast forward?
Jen's got it right here. Here we go. If the kids aren't hooking up, then the staff shouldn't be either.
Right. These kids have unlimited liquor and cigarettes.
Yeah, how are they not fucking?
Are there not also? There better be unlimited condoms in that dorm also.
But to be fair, Kalisha liked Nikki, who had no interest, and Luke liked Kalisha, so
Yeah,
it didn't work.
And there's no girls right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So either way, he is trying to find out more about Annie and about what's going down, and he has his map, but doesn't tell us anything. Got it. I'm sorry, I think it doesn't. It's not a helpful map in the case of a viewer, but yeah, he's telling her about finding the Notre Dame sign and about how he thinks they were down there, and he thinks that maybe, what if they got caught doing something and then they dropped their bodies there. And she makes a point of talking about the fence that was re-put up, and that basically at the time that the fence was down was when this all happened. So like the kids could have wandered on there and gotten in trouble, and they could have killed them because of it. So there's a possibility. I don't know if she necessarily thinks that, but she's like, yeah, it could happen. But it doesn't really matter because there's no evidence. And that's where he's like, well, I don't expect to get evidence. I'm just going to go poke them until they get mad and come back at us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is clearly what he's already done by visiting them. So
yeah,
do appreciate he's trying. He's gonna get something one way or another. And then we have Luke and Maureen again, where she's like, okay, how would you do it if you were going to run away? And he explains to her everything. And then she says she'll take him to the laundry room and gives him the key card. And actually, this must be the time before. Oh no,
this is at the ice machine. This is at the ice machine where she gives him the key card and the humongous scissors.
Okay.
They're like scissors that a tailor
had them with them, because I didn't really think about it, but like he's like, what about this? And she hands him the scissors. Like she just happened to be carrying the scissors around.
No, she was giving them to him to cut off the ears. Yeah. She was part of the plan that she was going to give him these two things.
Yeah, she's like, she even says, sorry, this is all I could find.
No, I know. I'm just wondering if I got the scene mixed up then, because I have that this is when she's asking him how he would do it. So yeah, but either way, she got him the scissors to cut it off, and no alcohol. And yeah, we talked about the
like the whole place is full of free liquor. He could, like, everybody in the chat last night, not everybody, AJ, but we're like, oh, he's gonna get infection. He should put some alcohol in those scissors. Why didn't she bring him some alcohol?
The story ain't long enough for him to get an infection.
No, and he has free vodka.
Take him to dump the alcohol on it before
he has free vodka. He could put vodka on it if he wanted to.
Yeah, everybody knows that. If you watch any TV, you know that you do that, right? We've seen how many shows they could have done it.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is not. Yeah, of all the things that are wrong on the show, to me, that was not the detail that bothers me. But
no, it's just, I don't know. To me, it was.
Everybody was very concerned about Luke possibly getting an infection last night.
I just thought it was funny.
That's because it's the only thing they need something to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, he's supposed to be a genius. You would think he would know better. So there, Tim is, and this is where Stackhouse comes up and comes to see Tim and talks about him sniffing around the institute, and so clearly his poking worked, and it's getting him noticed. And then we switch to
that scene. I mean, to me, that was another example of Stackhouse's amateur hour. Like he fell right into Tim's plan, which was to see if they react. He's only going to feed Tim like ignoring him would probably have been a better way to go, right? But instead he shows up and he tries to be all menacing and creepy, and he's going to scare it just seemed very amateurish that you would do this and you would only stir it up. And he also he dresses like an undertaker. Ever since that first night here in the chat when someone said he looked like the guys from Hush, from the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Hush. Those guys that I think I put a picture of. All I can see is I just think Stackhouse is more like, this was a very cartoony kind of thing also, right? And the script was bad, and the way the interesting part was, isn't this where he says like, Tim says, oh, my friend thinks those kids weren't even like, didn't even drown, they were killed. And
later, yeah.
And Stackhouse says, well, maybe I can talk to her. And Tim has never said he or she, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to be like,
I didn't say, I never said it was
see,
a
that's
woman.
the thing. I couldn't decide. I was waiting for him to be like, I never said it was a her. But then I decided he was being, I realized he caught it, but he was being smart by not giving it the information up like a lot of idiots do on different shows.
Right. But I definitely think he said it on purpose to scare him. I mean, I think he knew Tim would pick up on it. Except I don't know whether he meant, like we said, did he mean Annie or did he mean Wendy? It could have been taken either way.
Well, he did say she was dead.
No, but that was after.
Yeah.
Why was this guy even know that Wendy exists? They seem to not.
Well, if they're watching them, they could.
I don't know. My other complaint in the chat, and AJ, I don't know how this goes in the book, but my other complaint last night as we watched this was that the Institute and Stackhouse and his people are so good that they can identify kids with like the lowest grade psychic action. Somehow they find people like Lucas. They spy on them. They kidnap them in the night. They can plant a whole story that cover it all up as a murder-suicide when they kill your parents. They can spy on you enough that they can recreate your entire bedroom down to the tiniest thread so you almost wouldn't notice. And yet they're like, who's this Tim guy? He could be a reporter. He could be like, I'm like, what? Come on. Like they're so awesome, and then they're so inept when the story requires them to be inept, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
True. Very true.
I'm sorry, but this might be the worst episode for me of the show. So that's why I'm ranting.
Oh, I really like this one.
See, I like this episode because I felt like it finally started going somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked those chairs. I kind of want them for my living room.
Yeah, I like them too. They're cool. They are being the distraction so Luke can sneak into the room to fix the. I thought he was pulling the camera. I guess he's pulling the wires for the air conditioning, but
I don't really understand how heating up this place makes them disappear off the camera, right?
Well, if he did what I thought he was saying, and I don't know because, like I said later, it seems more like they're looking at the camera and it's not working. But I thought what they were doing is they're raising the temperature so that the heat sensors don't work because everything's like that temperature. They've done that on other shows.
That's what I took.
But yet, whenever they're saying the camera doesn't work, the guy's like, I can't see you. And I'm like, well, but that has nothing to do with being able to physically see somebody in the camera. So,
well, I thought that's what they were doing, like somehow raising the heat that the camera is like, is the camera infrared or something and only picks up like they don't look like a heat signature like, in other shows.
And that's why it doesn't make sense. And that's why I said I just gave up at that point because it's like they clearly didn't explain right or they didn't try to explain right what they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were supposed to be messing with the air conditioner to raise the heat so that
and somehow that makes the cameras not show any people.
Well, if everything's above 98.6 degrees, then if somebody goes in, you don't see it.
But a camera, but
raise an alarm, whatever.
But they're just cameras.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like it's two different things. It's like they wanted it to be that, but they didn't go far enough to make it make sense. So
yeah.
I'm just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it made any sense in the book.
It doesn't stood up for a second in the episode. Yeah, it stood up and walked away and took a break. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, he's trying to fix it.
And they have a plan.
No,
this is
the conversation we had. Are they in a furniture store? Adrian, does it not look like they're in a furniture store?
Kind of does.
It's the hotel lounge. I thought
it's like multiple lamps, multiple end tables, like in the same side of the room.
Yeah, it's a it's a poorly designed room.
I mean, a large hotel lobby or restaurant might have multiple seating areas. Like I go to tons of like cocktail bars that are set up like this with like a couch and 2 chairs here and right. Like I've been in a lot of
But it
hotels
does
like
look
this.
like they're
What I
working
don't
on it. There's
what
a
I don't
battery
understand
outside.
what I don't understand is why it says for lease in the window.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it looks like a furniture.
It's the next room from the lobby. They walked out of the hotel lobby into this room, right? It's like the restaurant or the lounge, but
Something. It
but
doesn't
it's
make a lot
for
of sense.
lease. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Bill Chill is gonna put us school us here. Excessive heat can negatively affect surveillance cameras. Extreme temperatures, both high and low, can impact camera performance and lifespan. High heat can cause components to overheat, leading to image quality issues, battery problems, and even permanent damage.
My only question is, though, wouldn't it have to be pretty hot for it to do it, and they would have noticed right away the air conditioner was off if it got that hot? That's my only question. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they thought it through very much. Rooms to go store.
Rooms to go store. Maybe what's for lease is the furniture.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Rent-a-center. It's a rent-a-center. You can lease all that furniture.
Yeah, sounds like
this is the scene that we just discussed.
Yeah, see how there's like multiple tables like right next to each other on the right? That's what I noticed that looked weird to me.
They
like,
need seating for people having their drink at night. I don't really like.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's to me why it looks like a furniture store.
Next time you and I are in a hotel, I'm going to be like, Jamie, look at all these tables.
All right, we'll do that. So yeah, he does say about, you know, he can talk to her, his friend, and it being a woman. And I definitely think that he knew Tim knew. I think he was saying it on purpose to scare him so that he would be like, I killed her. Like he's basically, you know, implying he killed her.
He just should have been scarier. Like in the book, AJ, this doesn't happen in the book, right? But
no, it does not.
In the book, is Stackhouse scarier? Like, and less cartoony? Like these guys should be kind of really menacing and scary, right? And Tim almost looked like he wanted to laugh in the guy's face.
See, you know, I mean, it's the way it's being portrayed.
Yeah.
I mean, Karen, you've read a lot of books. You know, sometimes it's very different.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you make up your own mind about certain things because it's a book and you don't have a visual. With the visuals, you know.
Yeah.
I think with the actor, they were just like, we're going to get an actor that's really intimidating looking, which they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have tried to make it go a little bit better, though. All right, so then this is where Sigsbee is talking to her, like, what was this about? And she's asked if she's grown attached to him, and she's like, of course not. But then she's like, have you? And it's so obvious that she clearly has. So
no,
yeah,
I don't think she ever has. You think she has?
No, that Maureen has. I mean, the way Maureen's like, no, of course not. And then she's immediately like, why? Have you ever gotten attached to him?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like, you can stay, but you got to stay away from front half until Luke graduates. And she's like, but it's sparkler night. So she lets her stay the night in order to finish out her shift. And then she's like, you got to go after that.
But this is also where Maureen says, Luke thinks we killed his parents. I thought we didn't do that. And I want to be like, I'd be like, really, Maureen? You really thought they didn't do that? And Sigsbee says, well, we try not to. We really do.
Yeah, we try not to.
But his mother woke up during the snatch, so we had to kill her. I mean, I think they tried not to because, like, how many, like, bodies draw attention, right? Bodies draw attention.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I think they've said that in this show, you know, where they really said it. I just finished watching The Wire, and like all these, they said it like a million times in The Wire, like the drug dealers are.
Is that why you started watching The Wire, Karen? Because you wanted to see a show where she was doing a better job?
No, I started watching The Wire because they're going to take away my Baltimore residency card if I didn't watch it soon. So.
So yeah, she is, got to be careful now. And I think, I don't know, I feel like at this point, like, you're being watched, you need to be careful, and she's not careful enough. And then let's see, Avery gets some protein before he cuts his ear. And then, okay, so then we see the first part of Sparkler Night. And this is where they explain that movie night is training, Sparkler Night's real. This is what they're trying to do in service of everything. And they don't expect Nikki to necessarily completely participate. He's just to lean into the hum, and that Iris is going to be the conductor. And this is where I think it's the scene where she says to him, like, at least the headaches will be gone, or something like that. Like, after no more headaches, no matter what, after this. I really like
got that going for you.
Yeah, but it's like, because I talked to him about that. I really like the scene, like, just kind of the look between them. Like, they both know they're going to die at this point, and they're accepting it. But he's like trying to say something, I guess, encouraging.
I mean, Iris is accepting it. Nikki's not accepting he's going to die.
Well,
Nikki has a plan to get out of there, and he's relying on.
I don't want to say accepting he's going to die, but accepting that's what their plan is, and he knows she's going to die.
Iris is going to die tonight, and she knows it.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, well, trying to be helpful, and I don't know. I think he's given up a little bit, maybe, but
I thought the much sadder part, to me, the saddest part was when Sigsbee says, after tonight, Iris is going home, and Iris says, after recovery, and Sigsbee's like, oh, of course, yeah, right, congratulations. Like,
why does that make so much difference? They're going to kill you anyway. Yeah.
Well, because Iris knows there's no recovery. She knows recovery's a lie.
That's why she said it the way she did.
That's why she said it. And I was like, oh, and like Sigsbee doesn't even remotely, like, everybody knows, nobody's saying it, but everybody knows it, right? And sorry, my chair is I gotta move my chair. It was just so sad, right? And like the whole next sequence, like, she just looks so defeated, and like she's gonna cry, and like she's gonna die the entire time, right? It's so sad. It's really one of the few, like, for a character that was barely lit up until now, it's some of the strongest emotion we've seen out of any of these characters.
Wow.
She did a good job. Actress did a good job.
Yeah. But I think he knows that he can't save her either, which doesn't help. So yeah, she is leading them through this, and I don't know. And we kind of talked about, like, is she projecting the image? I'm not sure where it's coming from or what these goggles are about, but they are in the mind of this doctor that they are forcing him to inject. I forget now what it was. Some kind of
it's fentanyl.
Fentanyl citrate. There, I have it. Into him rather than cortisone, so they can kill him. I definitely think that, like, they did it this way because it seems like nobody can get close to that guy, because he makes a point at the beginning of saying, this guy's loyal. Meaning the doctor is loyal, and that he knows what we do to people's families if they don't listen or whatever, and that he trusts him. So I think that's why they particularly chose, this scenario. But
yeah, they took over the doctor's body and forced him to give the wrong drug and kill him.
Yeah, because it was the way they could get, like I said, could get close enough to him. But I don't know. Like, I am curious if he's anybody important, or it doesn't matter. He's just a bad guy, we're assuming, or they're trying to make you think he's a bad guy. We don't know for sure. But
it doesn't really matter.
It seems like a mob boss or something to me. I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. People pay for this service, basically.
Yeah. I mean, we had seen 1 or 2 episodes ago when Hendrix and Stackhouse were trying to develop Luke on the side without Sigsbee knowing. And Stackhouse says something about selling Luke to the highest bidder. Right? Like, this is not a government plan. It is not to save the world. It is simply to, like, auction off, basically, like, it just
think of it like this. The as Karen likes to call him, Charlie, is the head of a cabal of wealthy presumably white people, old white guys that
Need to
want
kill people sometimes.
the ultimate weapon in getting what they want.
Yeah, and I thought like 2 episodes ago when they had caused the plane crash of a senator, right? This small plane crashes in South Dakota, and there was like a senator on board, and like it seemed then like bigger picture, like I was thinking about it today, like, oh, you're killing a senator so you can force a new election and get somebody else in there for whatever your purchase are. It was like a more like Pelican Brief level planning and strategy going on there, right? If you read the Pelican Brief and remember that. Have you guys seen that? Have you guys read that?
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what it was, just for that individual that wanted that senator, probably the other senator running.
Yeah. I thought there was a little more there. Excuse me, I'm just going to go off camera while I get the plug for my computer. I thought there was more there, but now it seems like it's really just like assassins for hire, right? Just like paid killers using these kids. And, I'm going to say what I said in the chat last night. Aren't there easier ways to assassinate people? Like,
this is definitely more interesting.
It's more interesting, but there are easier ways than finding these like low-grade psychics, banning them together, killing their parents.
But I don't think anybody could get close to them. Probably.
Well, yes, there's probably easier ways, but this, first of all, who's going to believe it?
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I had nothing to do with that senator dying. I'm surprised at everybody else, because here I was home alone with my wife sleeping. It's very it's alibi proof.
Okay, fair enough. But it's actually the high-mindedness and the mission that Sigsbee is talking about seems to be it's really just about like murder for hire. And so after watching that and understanding that from this episode, I feel like Sigsbee and company are not getting paid enough. Like, they're living in like a shitty bungalow at the Institute and having to have sex with Hendrix, and like she's making all this happen, and I feel like she's not being rewarded properly by Charlie. Like, why is she doing it? What is she getting out of it?
I think
that's she just likes being evil. Pleasure.
Thank you. I think I think that's part of the question. We don't know enough yet. I feel like we're still missing some of it at this point, but it does seem to be.
Well, I mean, I can't really speak for Sigsbee, but somebody like Hendrix. Wait, Hendrix is the doctor, right? Or is Hendrix the security?
Hendrix is the doctor.
Yeah. Somebody like him, he's a scientist. So for him, he gets to play science with no restrictions.
Yeah. But
I digress. Those are not answers we're ever going to get. And I maybe in the book you might get them. We're not going to get them on this show. I'm back. Sorry about that, you guys.
Okay.
So here we have Sparkler Night, the dumbest part of the entire thing.
Yeah, AJ, what are the sparklers for?
I don't know.
Reaction? Okay, I thought maybe you knew since you read the book.
I mean, he's not saying maybe there's more to come, and he's not going to say.
Okay.
I
think somebody, I don't remember who it was, it said maybe it's to see if like their eyes react to the light or if they're in the
yeah. Have they ever heard of a flashlight? Like, why?
So I don't know if there's more to it or not, but
and also after they wave the sparklers in Iris's eyes to see, and she just stares ahead or whatever, right? Then they go around and wave the sparklers at all the other kids who have their eyes closed.
I didn't notice that, but
at the beginning, Kalisha says to Nikki, "Just close your eyes," and he does. And when I watched it again today, I checked, and yes, all the kids have their eyes closed. And these two are like waving their sparklers around near them.
That's weird. I don't know. That's really bizarre. But
there better be more about these sparklers coming. why they're using sparklers, because right now it seems very silly to me.
Yeah, kind of does. And were they timed? Like they only had so long, I guess, to do it. Because I didn't notice this until I was taking the screen captures. I said that last night, but when I was taking the screen captures, I noticed they had a countdown clock. Don't know what it's about yet.
Oh my God, Jamie, you should have like photoshopped it to say 108 and told us all that's what it said.
I totally should have. Sorry, I didn't think that far ahead. My brain isn't. Hey, look, he's like, yeah, 108. He agrees with you. Yeah, that's cool. But I don't know what that's about. We'll find out. Well, hopefully we'll find out, I should say. We might not with the show. So then we get more of her like, why have you not brought my car back? What's going on? And trying to figure out,
This was like a throwaway. This was a throwaway.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of like, be careful. And yeah, it wasn't really
blah, blah, blah.
And then we find out Iris is pretty much gone in a coma, whatever you want to call it, used up. And Tony's over there laughing and thinks it's funny. And really,
Tony's a psycho.
He is a psycho, yeah. And then we have Hendrix, who wants to celebrate with her with sex. So she's like, yeah, we'll go celebrate. But
what did Scarlett say in the beginning? She said, go into the closet and work on my jumping rope fetish.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, this was so gross. This is so gross.
I have to, though, I still think that the reason this irritates me, this scene, though, is because she says something like, when they do go in the closet, she says something like she only went in there with him so she would be where they thought she would be or expected her to be or whatever. It put her in that area. But that to me means that she was trying to sneak around and is doing something else and doesn't want people to know it. But I don't understand what she was trying to do. And I missed something. Or they just didn't.
Stackhouse knows that these two go in there and have sex. And so she wants
to avoiding that she's going in there, like just Stackhouse talking to her, or
she doesn't want Stackhouse to know that she's refusing to sleep with Hendrix anymore.
Okay,
I think.
Maybe, yeah.
I think.
She wants Hendrix to think they're just going to have sex and not actually talking about anything.
Stackhouse. She wants Stackhouse to think they're having
sex.
Yeah,
whoever the hell is who.
Yeah, and not talking.
Okay, that's fair. I thought the way she said it that like there was something else she was trying to like have an alibi for or something. It was just the way they did it, I think. That it made me think that. So then we have this long conversation about Samson, which is kind of relevant. I don't know that it was necessary, but yeah, it talks about Samson and how he was getting revenge on the people that took him and that he brought down the temple. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed kind of out of place, but I'm guessing it's more like either foreshadowing or just like paralleling that story. And
someone's much like Samson getting his hair cut off, Luke is going to get his ear cut off.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Okay, you do realize he didn't cut his ear off, right?
No,
he cut his earlobe. He cut his earlobe
he even cut his earlobe. He put it in the bottom and
he did, but
he yanked it off. Kind of like, you ever had an earring rip out, Karen?
Yeah, and you rip out your earlobe. You rip your earlobe.
Yeah, that's what he did. He didn't like cut. He used the scissors to pull down.
Except it's
because it was a big staple in his ear.
Yeah.
There's the 11/21 picture I took.
All right.
Yeah. So then
because he had to be there by 11:30. That's why they showed that.
That's true. That's true. So then we see Iris being put into the room. And that's just like a really quick scene. And then this is where Luke again says, and the enemy will provide the means of their own defeat, and we can turn their strength into weaknesses. And he had said that like early on about the ear clip. So, he's going to use it to trick them. And yeah, he pulls it up. No more ear cutting. He pulls it off because Avery can't do it. So he does it himself. And then he's like, I want you to take me with you. And he's like, I can't. And then, this is where they're in there. And
Well, this is where she's saying, I want you to send Luke down here. And he's like, no, I need time with Luke. And she's like, too bad. We need bodies. Ship that kid down here, right?
Yeah, but this is where she says it's only here. So if Stackhouse checks the feed, he'll know. We'll know they're sticking to their routine. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess. It felt to me the way she said it, like she was hiding something that I guess I was trying to put.
She is hiding that they're having a conversation.
Yeah, but not anything particularly she's about to do or whatever, which is what I thought. Okay, but yeah, she wants to send him to the back half.
She knows that Stackhouse wants Luke to stay in front half so they can do their off-the-books experiment and sell him off the books on their own out of he's powerful and a genius, and they want to divert him out of her program.
Yeah, so she's like, nope, we're sending him to back half. He's going to be used up like the battery that he is, right? So that's her plan. And then he is sneaking around, and Avery is helping him know when to go in the hallway. And he almost gets caught by them, but he does get up to that's where she's coming out. He does get to the laundry room. Whoops. And she helps him into the laundry cart, like we've seen in so many shows.
Laundry cart trick.
Yeah, the old laundry cart trick. You think they'd check laundry carts more often, or make like transparent laundry carts even.
Well, or it's either the laundry cart, or sometimes it's the food service cart. And like the room service guy comes, and someone's hiding under there, right? Under the thing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Maureen helps him, and she has a conversation with him. I thought I had. Isn't this where she says?
No, this is where Tony tries to get a towel.
Okay, this isn't yet. That's why. Yeah, Tony wants a towel, and she's like, no, there's not enough. And she gets in there. But this is where she, when he gets out, she says, I'll meet you. I'll come get you. Here's this jump drive. We're going to take it to the reporter. And I think it's quite obvious. She knows she's not ever going to make it, but yeah, she tells him to go, and she'll meet him there. And this is where he stupidly tries to help Iris, and everybody's yelling, like, leave her there, really.
I mean, he only lingers for less than 30 seconds, looks around, sees that there's like 20 kids he can't help, and he books it out of there. It's not a massive delay. And he doesn't, I mean, I was mad. I thought he was going to really try to get out of the bed or choose to stay. And I was also screaming, but he really only delays by, I would measure in seconds, the delay that he has here in this room.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But it was still annoying, and wanted to smack him, like, get out of there and quit trying to help them. Like, if he could, they're in a coma. He can't do anything. Like,
they're not in a coma. I don't think they're in a coma.
Well, kind of. They're not in a coma.
So go back to that. What do you guys think that is? I mean, it's not a coma.
It's not a coma, but they're like brain dead or whatever, I guess.
No, I don't think they are.
They're still using their powers, but either way, they're not coherent. They're not.
I think that they're trapped. So that's where the hum is coming from, right? I think they're trapped in their psychic state. Like, they're too weak to come back to break the psychic. They're stuck in their psychic. They're stuck in the hum. They're too weak. They're too weak to come back to alertness. Is that a word? Alertness? They're too weak to come back. And so I think they're kind of trapped there in the hum. And right. And they're just all being linked together by those wires so that
backup battery.
So they can boost the other kids. Yeah, they're like a backup battery for the kids who are still alert.
In the front of the back half.
But I think they're kind of trapped. I think they're so weak that they can't like break free from it. And that's why the hum is constant coming from there, because they're all like, they're all like in it.
Yeah, I don't know if a hum is like literally a noise or not. They've never really.
I don't think it is, but
because Luke says he can hear, or not Luke, Avery said in the other episode he could hear it coming from the recovery door.
And I think Annie could hear it.
Yeah, and Annie could hear it too, but they're in that recovery room. That's where they are. So, but whether it's like an actual physical sound or more like a feeling or like a psychic link, I don't know, but that's the recovery room is what they're in now before they end up in the
because it's a fake recovery room. They're not going to recover.
Yeah. And then they end up in the furnace.
So my second thought in that scene was when Maureen said, I know a reporter who's going to help us. And I was like, oh, Maureen, all the reporters in the town are fake reporter assassins. Like, I'm like, a reporter? Don't go to a reporter that you know.
I think that's pretty obvious that that's not what they should be doing. You're like, no, don't do that. Yeah, I think that that's definitely implying that that's who that she's talked to the wrong.
Maybe yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
and that was the end.
Yeah, that was, and this was
The
episode
end.
5, right? So we have 3 left.
I was kind of waiting for a moment. I didn't really want to let Bill's comment go by that he made very early in our discussion when we were talking about Sigsbee, that he feels like the script is beneath Mary Louise Parker's talent. It's been wasting her range of character potential. And Scarlett agrees she isn't given much to do. I think it goes back to something that I don't want to say I said earlier, that the adult characters in particular are a little cartoonish, and the actors don't have much to work with, right? Except to be like, as Bill put earlier in the chat, let me tase a kid. Let's kill some people. Let's twirl our mustaches and torture some children, right? Like, I wish that she would be given more to do.
Yeah. I just think there's not enough time to go deep enough. And I know you think you could even do it with less, but I don't know. I feel like we don't got enough.
But there's nothing to go deep enough to make it up. AJ says this, it's not in the book.
Well, maybe that's a problem with the book then.
It's not Stephen King's best book, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a problem with the book as well, not just with the TV show. Then
but they've changed a lot. And I've said it all along. It's like reading a book a lot, and I feel the fact that we're talking about this week to week that we're really picking the shit out of it.
We are.
Because when you read a book, it plays differently than a TV show. You expect certain things from a TV show. You're not reading a book going, hey, this character doesn't have enough screen time.
Yeah, remember when we were reading Game of Thrones and there was an entire book that Arya wasn't even in an entire book, and we were like, what? Right?
Yeah.
We had to wait for 5 more years to see that character again. And we all still read the next book. But yeah, I do read books and I'm like, wow, this dialogue is horrible. This writer can't write dialogue.
Yeah. There's times like that, but this is just.
Yeah, maybe just because Stephen King wrote a book doesn't mean it should be a screenplay or a teleplay.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what it is in this day and age.
Anything he puts his name on, they want to put on TV.
People are. I think it's funny. You think about it. He wrote Pet Sematary in the early '80s, and it was 10 years later before they made the first movie. You know what I mean? And now they keep putting out other, more movies that have nothing to do with the damn book. It's just.
Yeah, that's too scary for me. I can't watch Pet Sematary, the first one. Pets coming back to life, evil reincarnated pets? No way.
Yeah, I agree. Nope.
It's just, there was, what the hell? I feel it might have, now it wasn't this, but there was, it might have been The Outsider. After he wrote that, like a month after it came out, somebody had already reserved the rights to make it into a TV show.
Yeah, not everything.
It's just they're just immediately.
Okay, this is better. This is this is better than Under the Dome, which maybe could have been a good TV show, but they bought.
Which is funny because Under the Dome could have been a good TV show. That had a lot more substance to it, and an element.
Worst Stephen King movie ever has to be, is the name of it Maximum Overdrive? Or the trucks that.
Yes.
That should have remained on the page and not become a movie.
That was never on the page.
Oh, never? It was written to be a movie?
That was an original screenplay by Stephen King that he wrote and directed himself.
Was that his first?
While high out of his fucking mind. He's publicly said that is the worst thing he's ever done.
But he was on drugs. He was on cocaine the entire time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He barely remembers making that movie.
It's terrible.
Wow.
So anyway, so I'm sorry I was so negative. This episode really
which is fun. I see, and that's the reason I enjoyed it, is because I felt like it actually was moving and everybody wasn't just sitting around anymore.
That's what I felt too.
They stopped talking and did something. I just feel like it's been 5 episodes. I just can no longer swallow my problems with the show and waiting for it to get better, right? Like, how many episodes do I have to wait for some of these for these characters to, they're not going to. These problems are not going to resolve. The show is what it is at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
no, Kimberly.
Kimberly, no.
Never finish those books.
Never going to happen. And even if it does, I don't even think I'd bother now. I might have to reread I have to reread the first 5.
I would too. Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
You know what's actually funny? In the books, Jon Snow is still dead.
Yeah. In the books, he's still dead. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, why read the books when we know the ending is horrible? The show revealed the ending.
Well, yeah, but the ending of the show isn't Martin's ending. And it might play out different. Even if Danny goes crazy in the books, it might actually make sense instead of, hey, I'm crazy now.
I woke up one day and I was crazy. Yeah. So anyhow, Jamie, you said this was episode 5. We have 3 more to go, right?
Yes. We have 3 more.
Okay. Well, I will be, I guess, moderately satisfied when these bad people die. So here's one more comment before we go. I have been waiting like many episodes for somebody's power to actually become powerful and do something. And I'm thinking it's not going to happen. Like, I'm wondering, in this like universe of this book, or in the scenario of this book, do strong psychic powers not exist? Is this like the strongest we're going to get? Is this as strong as you can be? Like, I'm waiting for somebody to go all Firestarter on their asses. And maybe that's not like even a possibility in the reality of this book. That there is.
Yeah, they say something like they've never had anybody pick up more than a couple pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think you have to all do it together to do it.
Like, is there no possibility of discovering a really strong power? Is this kind of power just really weaken everyone, and the only way to do it is to yoke people together? Maybe like what I've been waiting to happen was a dramatic climax where like Luke and Avery go all like, woo, right? But I'm sorry, that's what happened. That's my Drew Barrymore. Remember when the wind came and Drew Barrymore's hair was all like, woo, blowing around. But maybe that's not I think maybe that's not a possibility. And so maybe these kids, this is not like, not all Stephen King books within the same kind of reality, right? And like, maybe there is no, like, this is not in the same world as Firestarter. There's not a possibility of a Firestarter type kid. I don't know.
Kimberly has a good point. If they're TP, why aren't they communicating with each other to plan something? Yeah,
because they're not strong. Other than Avery, they're not really that strong.
Okay. But they have to be a certain strength to make it into the back half. But I guess once they're in the back half, they're kind of...
No, they go to the back half once they can do both.
Yeah, you have to be strong in either. You just have to be able to do both.
That's what I figured, that you have to be pretty strong. But I guess at that point, it's too late for them anyway.
They're all really weak. They said Avery, like Kalisha said, Avery's the strongest one she's ever felt. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I don't know that if she's felt that many, if she means like in her life, she's felt others, because she doesn't really know that many kids inside there at that point. But like, nobody's strong at anything.
They're not super strong, but
yeah. So that's what, so Jen and Kimberly have been screaming at the TV, and like maybe during the last episode that Avery would, become more powerful, exhibit greater power. I think really though that Lucas is the hero of the story, and if someone was going to like blast crazy power, it would be Lucas. I'm also a little this bit about trying to find a PC, and could Lucas be a PC? And it just feels like they're never going to do anything with that. Like,
well, I mean, we saw that Lucas had that dream before the new kid smacked up the twin.
Yeah, he definitely has the ability, but is there going to be more of a story with the ability? I think.
Like, I mean, so he exhibited the ability once. He hasn't done it again. He hasn't tried to do it again. They don't like nobody. there was no result. Like Hendrix, and we never saw Hendrix and Stackhouse be like, "Holy shit, did you see that? He came to the door and he knew those kids were in trouble. He must be PC." Like, there's been no follow up on that whatsoever, right?
Well, they had no way of knowing he wasn't just like knew they were in danger because he could have been reading their minds. They don't really.
Well, he
know.
said the twins are in there. They're in danger. Somebody open the door.
Yeah, but I mean, for all they know, he could. Now, again, because we didn't see it, it's hard to know. But he could have been like, "Well, I heard him thinking he was going to hurt them," or something like that. Like it would be easily explained away, because well, he would still have to admit he was TP. But I mean, he could like. They don't necessarily wouldn't know he was PC because only he knows what he actually.
Well, it's a plot thread that didn't go anywhere in this episode, and I feel like maybe it won't go anywhere. And like there was a time in the show when I thought like, oh, it's going to be a precog, and like that's going to be the like that might not be anything. That might be a little red herring in what is essentially more of a this is essentially a run of the mill kidnapping and escape story, because the supernatural or psychic or whatever the power element of it is so minimal and so divorced from what's happening, right? Like, are those kids gonna all wake up tomorrow and be like, wait, we helped you kill someone last night, that sucks, we're gonna like rebel? Like, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this is a pretty straightforward Prison Break. This is Prison Break with kids with minor powers.
I would I think the book plays better, so I would definitely recommend it if you aren't totally turned off by the end of this show.
Doc Kaiju's reading it now. I think Doc said that he's up to like episode 3-4 in the story, but also commented that a lot's different. There are characters that were created for this, or people in the book who are combined into one character in the show, which is very common, right? You can't have everybody. Yeah, maybe like reading it would be a good way to cleanse my memory of some of the problems.
Yeah, this is definitely one time I would say that, you know, I mean, I've done that a lot too, actually, where I actually, when we watched The Expanse, you know, because it was the final, you know, after the final season, I knew there was more books, so I went back and I actually read the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I just started reading the books from where the show left off, I was like, well, it's the beginning half isn't exactly the same, so I'm not going to know certain things, so I read the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, but that was, you know, after the fact. Sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's not. Like Revival, I'm probably not going to bother reading the comics after the show because the show is so good. A lot of times, if the adaptation is really good, then I don't bother.
Yeah.
Unless there's more that I want to know or something.
Yeah. Actually, it was good this week, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk about that.
Yes, we will be. But
all right.
First,
I don't know how the hell we just talked about the show for an hour and 45 minutes, but it's time to go.
Yeah, it's almost 12. But please, everybody, come back at 1 a.m. For Scarlett and I to
You're a glutton for punishment.
Nautilus. And again, sorry about the time shift, but yeah, we're gonna
come back tomorrow at 10 Eastern for Fandom Access.
Yes, where we will be talking about quite a few different shows, and then we are also tomorrow. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I think tomorrow at 1, as long as it's open. I gotta check the schedule. We're probably going to be doing Sandman because we should be done by 1, I would hope. So yeah, we'll be doing our second episode of Sandman.
Okay.
So join us then, and yeah, please, like I said, I'll have that interview up soon with Finn, and then you can still send me questions for Simone Miller, who plays Kalisha, and we'll be having Jason, I think his last name's Diaz, isn't it?
I think it is Diaz, yeah.
Will be coming on our show probably later in the week, who plays Tony, and that one will be live, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, once we get a date and time, I'll let everybody know. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. Good night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you in a bit, everybody. Bye-bye.